my time I'm waiting you to answer the phone. Nothing seems to happen, but the last stage is gone. I hope somewhere your voice promises less and does more, but still my pillow's on the floor. Anyone could say that we are never assured, for things we're dreaming of are always out of the store. Pages, a lot of pages to forget. I'm so
Asebu amanto do ne yetini mpefa mu mbehia mbebisa die da ho fede ho ho Asebu oh yeah obey.
Then use the English.
All right, I'll go there. You wanted to know where Asebu is, who was the founder of Asebu,
Yes.
and our tradition,
Right.
and culture.
So that you don't topple.
Okay. The founder of Asebu, the kingdom, was called Asebu Amenfi. Yes, Asebu Amenfi. Oral tradition tells us that he was a crown prince of King Pharaoh of Egypt. And this Asebu Amenfi is believed to be in existence about 500 BC, 100 years before Christ. Amenfi existed. And how then the crown prince ran down to Ghana and to Asebu? There is an adage in Fanti or Akan that Obi mfa amoto ntukuro before somebody will leave or has spawned from his own home. There's something wrong. So there was an uprising, misunderstanding at the palace there. And Amenfi, being a crown prince, was also a soldier and had to lead some people to find somewhere where they can get their peace and survive. So it was a multitude of people that he had and led them down this way. Down from Egypt, by that time, the transport means is by this thing alone, on foot.
Okay.
Yes. So getting down, they came down to Nigeria area, the Chad area, the Chad. On reaching Chad, they collected some water, which is believed to be the river god. So they brought it down along with them. And on their journey or voyage, they had many encounters. Coming up from the place, they will run short of food, water, and many things. So they had to resort on food, wild fruits in the forest as they were moving. They come across some rivulets, some streams, and they have to swim or have to walk through. All down after Chad, they continued to Benin. Just after here, going to Nigeria. And at Benin, they walked down to the seashore, where they determined that by applying the route on the shore, they can come to a safe place. Because where they were working were all turbulent waters. So they managed and came down, led by Amenfi, to a point between Mori and a community now called Akatechua. Yes. After Yamrasa Junction going to Accra, that's the first junction we'll meet on your right. Yes. So they came to land at the beach there. And they had an encounter. The encounter was this. There is a grove on a hilltop around the place they came to land. And there is a taboo day, which is Tuesday. So on Tuesdays, no activity should go on in that forest or in that grove. But a hunter, an unknown hunter, had to go in hunting expedition for meat for sale and for meals.
Okay.
This hunter went to the place on Monday evening searching for a catch. He was not fortunate, but he paraded through the place until midnight, and even after midnight, that is soon after midnight, we enter 1 o'clock of the Monday night, we enter into Tuesday, and that is the taboo day too. Yes. At this time, this period, Amenfi and the group were traveling from or walking through the sea to the land. Yes. And unfortunately, by the scene of what happened, unfortunately, the hunter caught glimpse of the queue of the people coming from the sea to the shore. And to his amazement, shouted, "Me wo dom kukang kumei." What a multitude of people! The hunter shouted against the God's wishes, because it was a Tuesday, no activity goes on there, no noise whatsoever. But this exclamation came, and the gods had to exercise their powers. And a sorrowful thing happened. At this time, it was Amenfi, Kweja, and one lady who was the sister of Amenfi called Amenfima. These three had then left the sea waters with their foot touching the soil of the place. So soon as the exclamation came out, the rest of the people in the queue all turned into statues. They all turned into statues. So the three stood somewhere and they were looking at their counterpart, or their brothers and sisters in the sea, wishing them to come ashore. But nobody was coming. There was no movement at all. What's happening? But it was a terrific scene. They stood and stood and stood. They lamented, and the people never made any movement. They were all motionless. All motionless. Then they started talking. What is happening to us? Is it the end? Is the situation, the condition that King Pharaoh wants us to be in here? Look at the number of people who cannot move, all become motionless in the sea. Left with only three of us. And one pathetic thing was that other man, that is Kweja and Amenfi, they were all giants. Yes, very gigantic name. But the lady who was the sister of Amenfi was as normal as we are.
Okay.
Yes. But the sister of Kweja had the name Techua, was left in the sea. He was among those in the queue in the sea. So the sister couldn't join them. So they were left with Amenfi, Kweja, and Amenfi, the lady. Thinking things may change, they spent days at the place and there was no change. Till some time, no change of positive was determined. So they gave up. If this is the situation, then it means there's left with only the three of us here. So what do? They started making life at the place, establishing some huts where they lived. And for some time, over a year at the place, they decided we can't be spending time or wasting time here. So we must get something doing. This giant Okedechi Amenfi, the crown prince, was a soldier and a farmer at the same time. And Kweja was a renowned fisherman. So they said, if this is the situation, then let us move from this place. All we were doing was to watch if Techua could have also come from the sea, but Techua isn't coming. So it is the three of us left with one, Aka Techua.
Okay.
Aka Techua. When is Techua coming? So it could be seen that there was sorrow. And you can't just give up just like that. Let's find something doing. So they said, we are the shore. So your work. We're also moving hinterland to see what we can do. When they entered, let's talk about Feri Kweja. Feri meaning a fisherman. So Kweja took to the west, was up to Havasri, and every community or hamlet that he met at the coast with fisher folks, he conquered them, not fighting or killing them, but capturing them and then making them his followers up to Havasri. Then eastwards up to Senya Breku, all the coast. So he became the chief fisherman. So at the moment, chief fisherman in our area has the title Feri Kweja or Apofohin Kweja. Yes. King of fisher folks. It's called Kweja in the title. When you go to Mori now, you see the statue there.
Okay.
Yes, it's a structure there. Then Amenfi and Amenfi also moved hinterland. They are farmers. So they went in. But there were already people existing. So sparsely in the area, in their hamlets. 2, 3 people there, not in a complete community. So Amenfi went through and captured them. Capturing doesn't mean he killed or he fought with them. I just asked them to be his followers. And by his posture, you can't ignore. You have to forcefully follow. And not doing anything wrong to you, but asking you to follow and then to also be farming. So they farmed, cultivated large maize farms wherever he met the people. So Amenfi, from the coast moved further inland and captured almost all the land up to Adanse Praso, where in Ghana today we have the Ashanti and the Central Region boundary. Yes, the Pra River was the boundary. So from Mori Akadichua there, moving right to Havasni, going left to Ewutu, Breku, up to Praso, where all Amenfi's lands. Yes, where all Amenfi's lands. So Kweja was doing his work, and Amenfi and the sister were also doing their work. But they knew that they have a tasman. Kweja is down there alone with the people he want to meet. Amenfi and Amenfi, the sister, were also moving. More or less, he had a counterpart who was the sister. And the farming activities went on, and they had bumper harvest of maize. So they had to find a place where they can store the dried maize. Yes. And there is a place at the moment where Amenfi used to store the maize. He built a barn at the place. And the place has been named Nsamfu. Nsamfu, yes. We called the barn in Fanti as Osan. Osan, a barn for storage of maize, yam, and those things. We call it Osan. Yes, so Nsamfu, that is the name. It's a community.
Yeah,
it also has its junction at after Akadichua Junction. You go there too, then towards Mabu, then to Accra. Yes, that is there. So we have Akadichua, the first settlement, then in Nsamfu where they store their destiny. And he tried visiting the brother at the coast. And this time, history tells us that there was this Carthaginian war where attacks were made. So when Amenfi gets to the coast, he saw some cannons with cannonballs. Yes, the cannons were being used as a weapon, and the balls as a bullet in fighting. Yes. So Amenfi built a barn or a hut with local materials, the trees, the palm fronds, the husk for roofing, raffia. Put some of the maize in there, made some tripod in there with the sister in, some firewood, everything that they could live on. So he determined visiting the brother and the people at the coast. So whenever they are ready to go, Amenfi will lift the barn, was movable. Amenfi will lift this barn with the sister in, the corn storage, the firewood, whatever in there, on his shoulder. On his shoulder. Whilst moving, the sister will be with the dry frying maize. Yes, on the tripod, in a wooden pot. When it is cooked, he gives to Amenfi. Hot, very hot in the pot, and Amenfi will pour into his mouth as they are moving. So the moment or any given time that Amenfi finds is being long for him to be supplied with the maize, he begins to shout, Amenfima men murugo. Amenfima men murugo. Meaning, Amenfima, my mouth is cooling. So bring in more maize. Yes. And the sister will be doing that. He does that throughout the journey to and fro. Now, when they go to the coast, they give some of the maize for the people to use as food. And they in turn give him fish to be sent to the people or to the farmers. But on his return from the coast, usually feels the burn or the weight of the things he carried becomes light, and that affects his movement. So he goes to the castle and picks some used cannons, empty cannons, plus cannonballs, fill the barn so that the weight increases for him to be stable whilst moving. So he continues downwards or upwards into the hinterland to meet his people. So wherever Amenfi settled or even sat down to relax, you see one of the cannons left there. One here, one there, then he continues. So in central region, should I say, go to many places, some paramounts, some chiefs' houses, and you see some of these cannons lying there. Ask the committee members where they got it from. It was Amenfi who used those things. He put some in the barn and then used some also as walking stick, whilst carrying the sister and the load in the barn on shoulder. So we have these cannons and the cannonballs spread almost all over. So any place you go now to see cannon means Amenfi passed here. In addition, it could be seen that these people had superpowers, if I should say magical.
Okay.
Yes. Such that these cannons that I'm talking of, Amenfi holds it, put the finger in like this, and it sinks in, and there's a print. That's a small hole, meaning you use the finger to just press, not squeezing at all, or not drilling, just press. So we have many there. Apart from that too, there are many rocks in the area which Amenfi visited. When you get to the place and he begins to walk on the rock, you see the footprints. Not painted, but made whole. They are footprints. Like one steps in the mud, it shows up here. It's there. We have some here, some down there, but the place is waterlogged now. Then he had a sister, and sometimes they will have to sit and relax. So at that time, they will have to entertain themselves by singing, clapping, and enjoying. And at one of these places here, they use castanet, some steel material. They made a hole here, and you put the ring on the thumb, and you cut hole it in there. So you click it, cut, giving them the rhythm to sing. Okay. Yes, and enjoy. This one is described as heavy as, or heavier than 2 bags of cement, which he handles them on the fingers and then click. Yes. You go to Kwamankasi today, you will find it there. Okay. Find it there. You come down to Abrodunko. At Abrodunko, there's another rock which he pierced the finger and water came from it. Not quite too long, somebody tried to harness that thing to develop drinking water, pure water, on sale. When the guy attempted, he saw a bead, one of these, in the hole. And he thought it wise to remove it so that he gets more water. So after some few years of production, he determined to do that. He did that and the water ceased. Yes, so no more production. Yes. At the same place at Abudunko, he was holding a sword and he held it, just pressed it into the ground. Maybe unconsciously, but never coming back for it, and he left it there. It is there. Nobody has been able to remove it. And he has some stones, some rocks there, where he sometimes rests or pass the night, and is sleeping there like a cage with another rock as a door, so that he goes in there to rest. Yes. All these things are there, the remnants. So there are other facts that he faced wars as he had this expansion through conquest. He was being challenged by people who had then organized themselves into communities, and because of his posture, the strength, and the magical powers, he was never overpowered by any community or any gang at all. And history tells us that sometimes he will observe the movement of the enemies coming, and he will find a tree, a tall tree, big one, and he goes there, uses the leg to bend it, crossing the road or the way of the enemies coming. And he stand by, or he squat somewhere to see when these people try to cross, they jump on the tree before they jump down to cross. So as soon as he sees that there's quite enough good number of people on the tree, he lifts the leg and the tree springs back. Come on, throwing people that way. And everything finishes. No war. Yes. And he could see that the enemies were so strong that they would have to manage to get him off or conquer some of his territory. So any place that he settled or organized people to live are hilly places. Telling you that all Asebu communities, or almost all communities, are placed on hilltops. Like here, you go to Odebu on top, you go to Brebia, top, go to Opayin Ahensah, top, Hamasma, top, go to Brafiao, right from Kibosi on right, top. Yes, why? Because he managed to get his people to determine where the enemies will be coming from, so that at the hilltop you look into the valley and you see them, and you get prepared to meet them and you face them, and there's conquest. Yes, this is the way he was able to conquer many places. Now they lived, but by their posture, there was no relationship between Kweja and any woman along the coast. So also no relationship between Okedechi Amenfi the giant and any of the ladies within his territory. Meaning, if there's no relationship towards marriage, there wouldn't be offspring. So we say without saying excuse me or sorry for no. There was no offspring. Amenfi, Kweja, Amenfima never had children. They never had children. And some elderly person at that time was describing giant Amenfi's penis as being as big as two empty bottles, beer bottles put together. No woman can receive it.
No.
So that was it. Now, everything has a beginning
That's the fiddle and end.
and two. When they came from Egypt, bringing this river, the pond river, or the river water
Chad.
from Chad, this god was named Sabu, and this Sabu turned to be Asebu.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and he had his name Amenfi from Memphis. If you read geography, you notice that from Memphis. So it became Sabu and then the Memphis. So it became Asebu Amenfi. Yes, Asebu Amenfi. And he came to meet smaller gods here. He never ignored them. He included them in whatever they did that time. So when you get to the center of this town, you have a shrine in the center of this town. At first we used palm fronds, dried palm fronds, to fence this round. But today we want to modernize things, so it is being covered with the fence wall block and painted white. It's very glaring when you get up there, you see it. That we call the Segu Shrine.
Okay.
The Segu Shrine is there. From the beginning getting to the end, what happened? So, did Amenfi, as you were saying, had no child, had no nephew, no niece, likewise Kuja, likewise Amenfima. So what then? They went away. How? We have these small gods like Prabha, like Segu, so many here. If I'm to list them, over 2 pages. And quite recently, about a month and a half ago, the chief of the Amenfi, Professor the 7th, right now, had to pay money to purchase certain items to pacify the gods. Sheep, goats, duck, red oil, so many things. Yes. And that we term it in the Fanti as apetsi. Apetsi, that is giving food to the gods. Yes, that is feeding the gods, which is an annual thing. So our chief had to provide money or funds to acquire all these things, items, and that thing has been performed. And one of the gods in here has a dog as a symbol, which used to come out at night. And people who have seen that dog before describe it to be as tall as Anthony, very white. My wife has gone out. He has even seen it before. There was a Scottish priest up here. He was celebrating his. They went there, and she left the place deep in the night and was crossing the road to the house. He saw the dog. Yes. So Asebu was not entertaining dogs because of that god. But later, people felt dogs and goats. But later, people felt goats are of use and economically and those things. So they prayed and then pleaded through some rituals that they are allowed to rear goats because it gives food, it gives money, and that. So that was allowed. But for the dogs, no. Yet people being disobedient, being recalcitrant, have been bringing dogs in the community. So after this performance of the pacification of the gods, it has been ruled again that all dogs should be removed from the community. And yesterday was a deadline. So soon after, some action will be taken against people who still have their dogs in the community. Yes. One of the gods we have at the moment is Chin Kobina. That's a chin meaning drum.
Okay.
And the day of the week, Tuesday, has been named to it. And any male born on Tuesday is called Kobina. Like me.
Me too. Yeah.
Yes. So we call that drum as Chin Kobina. Tuesday drum. It's an Asafu drum. Amenfi, Kweja, and Amenfima had to depart from the surface of the earth. Like I mentioned Tuesday as a taboo day for that Funfu poem, the silent group at Akadichua. So it happened that one day, Monday night, getting to dawn, when almost everybody was asleep, people heard the sound of Chinokobana, that drum. And seriously, there was no human being using sticks to beat the drum. You just only hear the sound. At which time, Amenfima and Amenfi had moved up to Putibu, Apewosika area, whilst Kweja was at the beach. The drums sounded and sounded and sounded, and people who were able to peep could see that there was clouds all over. You cannot see through until getting to daybreak, and people got up at dawn. What happened? What was happening? I heard this sound, I heard this noise. But up to daybreak, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, when there was sunlight. But where is Amenfima? Nowhere to be found. Where is Amenfi? Nowhere to be found. Where is Kweja? At that same time, Kweja at Mori was also nowhere to be seen at the same time. So they vanished from the surface of the earth. Like we have in the Bible, Methuselah. He vanished. So nobody can come in to challenge that. No, you are a liar. People say he was overpowered by some community or some strong army, and they killed, and the sister was taken hostage to somebody's palace to serve. I said, no. Ask somebody, if you say Amenfi died, show me the grave. Where was he born? Where was he buried? Some are even saying that because Amenfi was a greedy person, when he feels the sister is delaying in putting the hot maize in the mouth, the sister feels so much pressed that he adds sand to the maize for him to eat, which is uncalled for. It's never true. It's never true for a sister to do this to a brother. No. So there are many fallacies, many exaggerations about Amenfi. So this is.
It means the swallowing of the baby is.
No, not at all. If Amenfi never had a wife to deliver, if Amenfi never had a husband to deliver, who was the son? Who was the nephew that was swallowed? So there was no swallowing. So at this point, I would like us to pause here. If somebody may be in doubt or have some question to put across, if you really can answer, let's see. So I am done.
Okay. Thank you.
Don't you have any question?
Huh?
Don't you have any question?
No, because you know when we went down there in the crowd, they did give us some of this story, you know.
Yeah, okay.
A little bit of it.
I think he knows the questions down because he was.
Why answering?
Okay.
possibly if we'll make it to Kwaman to see the castanet as well. I worked in Bando, so I remember seeing it.
You worked in
personally.
Bando?
Bando,
Oh,
Abra
alright,
Bando.
right.
Yeah. So,
And you believe that thing is there?
yeah, I've seen it myself before,
Alright.
but it's been like 6-7 years ago.
Oh.
I passed there, I think, barely 3 months ago, and I see that something has been walled. So I'm sure that is what has been obvious. I had a privilege to work with the Opayin at Kwaman.
Okay.
He told me the story and showed me the castanet.
Right. Right.
Then possibly we come to the rock. And then would you like to go to Mori to see the statue of Frank Ukweja?
Yeah, sure.
I have someone on my phone, but it will be better once you come over to see it visibly. Yeah.
Since we don't have that of Asebu, I think we can climax it with that of Frank.
At what do you call
And
it?
from what you're saying,
Maureen.
that moving to Maureen and going to Ayado and those places, why there's a decision or suggestion to put up a heritage house
Center, yeah.
Okay.
where these things can be stored, or the pictures can be stored.
Oh, very long.
Some
Very
movies,
long.
either slideshow or some projectors. Yeah, and we have many things to present at the